Security cameras are so cheap now that there's no reason not to have them. They're a great deterrent for criminals, and they allow you to see a live view of your home anywhere in the world. Now, there are some frustrations along the way, so I'm going to share my experiences with you today, and hopefully that'll help you out. Now let's go over some basic setup and lessons that I wish I would have known when getting started. First off is going to be placement. You want to make sure you have good coverage of all entrances. They shouldn't be placed too high, or you won't get a good shot of anyone's faces. If they're zoomed out too much or they're too far away, it's going to be hard to see what's going on. And if they're too close, you may miss something that's out of frame. Whenever possible, I recommend having the cameras overlap so that you get multiple views. And if you can, make sure to hardwire them. We have power over Ethernet cameras right here, but anytime that you have power, that's going to be better because a lot of the features with the battery operated cameras aren't going to work. I started with cameras from Ring, Arlo, and Eufy, but I was frustrated by the missed events, so we upgraded to an NVR system. I've watched a number of videos of guys running Ethernet wires themselves through the attic and out to appropriate locations around their home and decided it just wasn't for me, so I hired a professional. The kit I had at the time came with 4 cameras, so I had him run 4 lines. Wow, what a big mistake. I should have had him run at least double that many. Now I've found other areas I'd like to add more cameras, and it's too late. I need to have someone else back out if I want to run more wire. There's also a risk of failure, so having a backup line is never a bad idea. There are a lot of camera options available. I highly recommend subscribing to The Hookup for in-depth comparisons of all camera options. Lifehackster is another great channel that's focused more on the Wi-Fi options that are available. Since I don't have a science background, I'm not going to get super technical. Instead, I'm going to share my insights from testing 3 NVR cameras simultaneously at our home for the past 6 months. Stay tuned to the end to find out which one we're keeping, what component broke, and what was missing. The nice thing about having an NVR is you can also view everything locally and have a local backup. Each company offers kits that come with the unit itself and cameras, but be sure to check the box because Amcrest didn't include a hard drive, and you may need to purchase your own HDMI and Ethernet cables. So I do have 3 different NVR units running right now. Normally you would just have one, so I only have one monitor and I just switched the HDMI cable because we're just doing this for testing. So I started with a Swann NVR system, and we have done a video on this in the past. So during my testing, one of the cameras actually failed completely. Somehow moisture got behind it, and dealing with support wasn't really very easy, to be honest. So I've been testing different cameras in different locations and using the existing wiring, so I've one at a time replaced cameras. So right now I've only got 2 going, but this is what kind of like what the system looks like. So one of the cool features with Swann is that it does have person detection. You can basically get notifications if someone shows up that maybe isn't recognized, or if it's a specific person that shouldn't be there, with some degree of accuracy. I've programmed it to recognize me. The picture on the right is what it's basing it off of, and earlier today, it did detect that I was out there talking about the cameras, and it did detect a stranger. We have stranger danger here. We can click and see into the video here, and there's us filming this exact video. Really, the only time we'd ever come down here to access this is if there was an event and we needed to pull the information from the NVR. Most of the time, if we wanted to look at something really quickly, we'd just pull up the app. Alright, so this is the Amcrest camera that we have set up in the backyard. So here we are, we've got a nice view of the backyard, our dying grass, don't mind that. So you can do manual recording, we can autofocus, we can get images, change the view so we get more cameras. In the main menu here we can do playback, search videos. I think we might have some activity right here. Oh, look at that. Some coming through the gate. There we go. So I can cut this as well. So we've got a few different Reolink cameras. I'm just going to show one today. But with the NVR, we've got our different display modes here. We can go to playback. And so then we'll find some activity. Here, I suspect we might have some activity. Oh, look at that. There I am. So we can cut this. Okay. I just want this culprit. Save that, and we can insert it into a USB. Have that available for the police if necessary. So now let's take a look at the apps. So I've used a variety of different cameras and apps, but here are some of my favorites. We have Ring for our doorbell. We like that the Ring system has the neighborhood alerts. It's got the event history, very easy to pull up. So person detected. It's us filming today. Very easy to sort. If you have multiple cameras, then you can access them all. You can see everything, like the live view. So I've tried a number of different doorbells, and my preference has been the Ring system. We do have it integrated with our garage and our front door lock, which I find is pretty slick. But we do like having a 24/7 recording camera. So we have 3 different ones that we've been testing: the Swann, the Amcrest, and Reolink. So we'll just go into each and kind of a high level of like what you can do. So within the Reolink, we've got the live feed, and I just have the one camera hooked up for this video. We do have others. I can go to playback and see, where the motion was. It's very easy to find compared to like using the NVR system itself. I find that this is a lot more intuitive. So I can go to what I want to see, like where the action is, and then hit play. Otherwise, I can use this and kind of jump around. So that's really nice. And then if you want to download it, you can just hit this download button. Pick the amount of time, click download. Very easy to do. I can watch. I can flip the camera. So we mostly just look at things within the app, and then if there was ever something I needed a HD version of, I can go down to the NVR and then use a USB stick and transfer that. So there are, you can do a number of different cameras. We got the cloud recording as well. We've got direct from camera. We've got a number of different things you can do with the settings and things. I'm not going to go too crazy in detail, just high level, easy to get to where you want to, what you want to see, and the live view is refreshes really fast. So I really like that app. Amcrest, their experience here kind of mirrors what it's like on the NVR. So we have this camera here. I can watch it in real time and zoom in, which is nice. And then if I want to look at, I can do some recording, I can start recording live, do a snapshot, that's being saved, and turn on the night vision, and then you could do a replay. So we do have this auto tracking feature. I haven't really used that. So now I want to go to playback. This camera, let's do channel 1. There we go. Let's find some activity. So not super easy to see where all the activity is. If you knew it took place at a certain time, certainly that would make this process go faster. Rough estimate, I know that we had an intruder around 10:30. So I really wish there was an easy way, to just quickly find events. And maybe there is, and I'm just not smart enough to know it, but Swann is a great app. We did have some issues with connectivity in the past, but it seems like the app has gotten a lot better. You can see everything with the live view, and then to view past recordings. So it's pretty easy to find what we're looking for. And here we are filming earlier in the day. So maybe we can go back. I think there's like 30 days worth. We've got all these motion events. We've used this in the past, and it's worked out well for us to be able to just check remotely. So it's not bad. I do prefer the Real Link or like a Ring app experience a little bit more. But I can't complain too much about the Swann. The only issue with that one was that I did have that camera that died on me, and that was frustrating. So after months of testing and talking with clients that also have camera systems, I highly recommend Real Link if you're willing to run the Ethernet cables. Otherwise, a hardwire connection from Ring is very good. Eufy makes awesome cameras that record locally, so you aren't reliant on a subscription. And Wise does have very affordable options. However, what we found is that the clips there aren't going to be long enough, and usually people are frustrated. I do know people that are really into Google and the Nest system, and they're happy with the Nest cameras, but I would recommend staying away from Arlo. Amcrest was alright, but I was disappointed that they didn't include the hard drive in the box. I found that their app wasn't quite as user-friendly, as well as accessing files on the NVR system. So if you're going to go with NVR, I do recommend Real Link with Swann maybe in a close second. And then if you're going with hardwired or battery-operated, Ring and Eufy are great choices. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. We've got more content coming soon.